so glad to have you here tonight. My name is Heather Hall, and I serve on the City Council here in Kansas City. And I'm just so incredibly honored to be here in a group of amazing people who care so much about Clay County and law enforcement and protecting the people that live in this wonderful county. And I'm so glad that I get to be one of the first people to tell you how much I admire, and I'm so excited that we have a candidate like Will Akin to lead us into the next century here in Clay County. So join me in saying thank you. From Will and from Representative Ritchie on some amazing things. But before we get started tonight, I'd ask you if you'd rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. This is an exciting time. I know that Will has been looking forward this day for quite a while, as he's been giving a lot of thought and prayer to this. And I tell you, Will, this is an impressive turnout, and you want to see this as a tremendous sign of appreciation for who you are and the competency that you have demonstrated over the years in serving our community. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to support you. And before I pray, obviously, as many of you know, this is actually kind of right on the cusp of the beginning of National Police Week, where we as a nation and in local communities are both celebrating and honoring those who serve us, but are also remembering the fact that we have many who unfortunately had to lay their lives down to protect us and to allow us the opportunity to live our lives in relative peace, because they're willing to drive the streets on our behalf. So as I open in prayer, I do think it would be more than appropriate for us not only to thank the Lord for what we have an opportunity to do this evening, but to also remember the families of those who have had to say goodbye to their loved ones, and many brothers and sisters in arms had to say goodbye to them as well. So let's, if you don't mind, just bow your heads and as I pray, and we'll begin our time together. Heavenly Father, we know that as we meet each new day, that we have opportunity both to witness your kindness and generosity toward us, as well as to be reminded of the reason that it is so important for us to serve one another with humility and a willingness to sacrifice ourselves for the good of others. God, we count it a privilege to be able to gather this evening to support Will Akin. He has proven himself over the years as one who is not only competent, but one who is eager to serve and to serve properly motivated, and with an eye toward quality as well as fairness and justice for those in our community and beyond. And we are so very grateful that we have people like Will that we can look to during times like this, and to support, knowing that we will be well served in the days to come with him at the helm. Father, as we are mindful of what we're here tonight to do, we are also mindful that in the law enforcement community, there have been many, far too many, that have had to lay down their lives in our service over this past year. And Father, we know there are spouses and children and grandchildren and friends and brothers and sisters in arms who have had to say goodbye to those who have paid the ultimate price. We are grateful for their sacrificial service. We are grateful for the example that they have set for us as to what it looks like to be willing to lay down your life for the good of others. And I pray, Father, that we would never forget the price they paid, but that we would meet each new day with even more resolve to serve and to serve faithfully in our own areas of life, knowing that there are men and women on the streets looking after us day and night so that we don't have to necessarily give as much thought to our own peace and safety. And we thank you for the opportunity to not only look toward this next week of memorial, but also, Father, for us to look beyond this week, recognizing that every day is a day for us to spend time with our family and friends and to do the things that you have wired us to do to the best of our ability. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen. So, when Will Akin arrived at Clay County Sheriff's Office back in 2013, a few months following that, I was blessed with the opportunity to become acquainted with Will, and I've counted him a friend since that time. As many of you know, I've served as a chaplain with Clay County Sheriff's Office, and just really appreciate the work that our Sheriff's Office, the deputies, and the staff provide for our county. But Will and I have had a unique relationship in that he began as my liaison as I volunteered in that capacity. And over the years, we have just become very close, and I have come to truly appreciate not only what he does, but who he is. I've found in life that many times it's more important to focus on who you are long before you focus on what you do. Because you can do a good job, but if you're not the right kind of people, your competency over time will begin to give way because of problems with your character. But tonight, it is a privilege to be able to introduce Will, because as many of you know, I would trust looking around this room, seeing many faces that we've all kind of crossed paths in various capacities in the past. Many of you know this, but Will has served our country. He has served our community for over 20 years. So he served for 8 years in the military. Ultimately, about half that time as individual who was flying Black Hawks, and following his career in the military, he became involved with the law enforcement community. He spent some time in Afghanistan as a police mentor there, and then, as many of you know, has been with us in our community now since 2013. For me, when you're looking for someone who is going to be serving as sheriff, you really do need someone who is competent. You can't afford to have someone that just wakes up and says, "I think I'm going to run for sheriff." I don't know that many of us would count that as a person who we would want to get behind too much. So you are looking for someone who has competency, that knows what they're doing, and that competency has earned them the respect of those that they've worked around in that environment. And Will is that guy. Will has proven himself faithful in his law enforcement capacity. Many of you are familiar, and if you're not, I would just encourage you to take a look at this. I mean, this is just an amazing list of accomplishments and things that he's involved with even currently. Everything from his role with the FBI National Academy Association and Homeland Security and Emergency Management here locally and things of that nature. But his competency not only is well documented with the handbill that you've got in front of you, but his competency is also well recorded by the fact that he has the respect of those that serve with him, both within the Sheriff's Office as well as area agencies in our area. And for me, that's critical, because for the person who will be serving as sheriff, that individual has got to have the respect of the area law enforcement agencies as well as the community at large. And Will has earned that, and I'm grateful for that. But I would say this as well. Beyond his competency, Will is somebody I trust. I trust Will Akin. I have 2 daughters and a wife that I love dearly, that I would do everything in my power to do legally to make sure that they're well cared for. And I would have absolutely no hesitation whatsoever with trusting their care to the hands of Will Akin. And his competency and his trustworthiness is something that, to me, speaks volumes, and I deeply appreciate that, Will, about you. You are genuine. You are somebody that is real. You are easy to approach. You're a straight shooter. You know where you're coming from, and I really do appreciate. That's what we need today more than anything, because we are tired. We are tired of the things that have caused us all to grow cynical. And I know that you're someone who will not cause us to grow more cynical, but somebody who will cause us to actually stop and think, you know what, there's at least one person out there that's serving us that I can actually begin to become less cynical because of. And that's who you are, Will. And I appreciate that about you. He's also somebody that is driven. He is committed to knowing his trade craft well. He is educated and becoming even more highly educated. We will soon be able to call him Dr. Sheriff or Sheriff Doctor or whatever come next May. He has committed himself to studying at the doctoral level ethical leadership, and I think that bodes well, right? I mean, we would love to have somebody that's serving us who has studied in depth ethical leadership, right? So with all that being said, you're not here to hear me. I count Will a friend. It is an honor to be able to get behind Will and to support him in this effort. And I look forward to the day where we're gathered back, together come November of 2020 at a little shindig, and we're celebrating the fact that Will Akin has just become our next sheriff. So if that's where you're at, let's give him a round of applause.
So if you know me, if you hand me a mic, I can go for like the next 2 to 4 hours talking about whatever it is we're talking about. But I was told that I have to stay on script so we don't get off track. But nonetheless, thank you very much for being here tonight. You know, I was talking to many of you, and I know I didn't get a chance to talk with all of you, but every time I would turn around to see who else was around me so I could talk with, the room started growing more and more. Well, not the room. The room was getting smaller, but the group was getting bigger and bigger, and that's just truly amazed. Truly amazed, and thank you. Okay, so now I got to go down my list. Let's see here. I have a lot of great people that I work around, and many of them are the elected officials in this room, because for me, I'm new to politics. I'm not going to say I'm not a politician because it's a political race, okay? But I have great people who I get to talk with, and some of them that I want to point out to you. And the first one you've already heard from is State Rep Doug Ritchie. I don't know where he went, but oh, there he is. Okay, thank you, Doug, for that awesome introduction. And the next person I'd like to introduce is State Rep Ken Wilson, but I think he had to go. Okay, I think he did have to leave. Okay. And then Kansas City Councilwoman Heather Hall. She introduced. Yes, let's give her a round of applause. Amazing lady. City Council, or Clay County Collector Lydia McAvoy. Thank you, Lydia. And many opportunities to sit down and talk with her, but we had a great conversation not too long ago, and her advice was well received. Thank you, Lydia. She laughs, but I'm like, I just soak it up. Clay County Auditor Victor Hurlbert. Thank you, Victor. Our Clay County Clerk, Megan Thompson. And our Presiding Commissioner, Jerry Nolte. I'm trying to scan the room, and it's really hard because there's a sea of people in front of me right now. Did I miss anyone? Okay. I just wanted to offer that opportunity. If I did miss you, I apologize, especially for a lot of them. They won't raise their hand or say anything. But thanks for being here. My family and I want to personally thank each and every one of you for being here tonight. This is a race that we're going to be embarking on, but without you, we will not be able to accomplish this successfully. You know, I look out into the crowd and I see family, I see friends, I see neighbors, I see public safety, law enforcement. I think I even saw a firefighter here today. Are there any firefighters? Today's National Firefighter Day. No firefighters. Let's give them a round of applause. Oh, we have one former one, Jim Cunningham back there. I love say that we have to have heroes too, right? The quality of life that we have in Clay County is something that we all cherish. And it's that safety. The safety, or the result of that, is the hard work from the men and women that serve our community in public safety. I'm running for sheriff because I want to make sure I do my part to ensure that we keep that momentum going. We want to keep our neighborhoods safe. We want to keep our neighborhoods safe because we want our families to thrive in our neighborhoods, but also our community. So that's the reason why I'm running for sheriff. My whole adult life has been one of service. From military to law enforcement, overseas contracting, but also locally. I'm actually the post commander for the local Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 4043. I'm a member of the Rotary Club. So my service doesn't just stop with law enforcement. Because I look around the room, and I didn't say this earlier, but I see my veteran brothers here, from our post. I have my heart near and dear to veterans. And I'll get to my son here in a little bit. But, after serving my country, it means something very different to me. But that wasn't always the case. Growing up, being homeless, living in rough neighborhoods, there wasn't a whole lot of opportunity for me. But I was committed to getting out of that situation. And that same commitment has led me here, and that same commitment is not going to let me just sit down in a chair and collect a check. I will be one of the most active sheriffs in Clay County that this county has ever seen. And that's going to be because of everyone in here. You make me want to be that active sheriff. I can't say enough about how much I love being out in the community and being a part of the community, because I tell a lot of people, we're not just the blue and red lights in the rearview mirror, right? We're a part of this community too, and we love it just as much. Some of my priorities, accountability and transparency. We are accountable to the people that we serve. Transparency. I don't throw that word around because it's the latest buzzword. Look at my Facebook page. Look at my website. There's really not a whole lot that I don't put out for the world to see. That is the standard I live by. Sometimes it makes my wife uncomfortable, but nonetheless, that's our family, and that's our life. But we are going to be a transparent sheriff's office. Now, we're not going to divulge investigative, cases and stuff like that. Okay, we all understand that. But we're going to be transparent in everything that we do. And it's not just a buzzword. Strong public safety relationships. I know every single police chief. I know every single fire chief. I know the public health center. I know the Tri-County Mental Health Center. I know a lot of different organizations that make up the infrastructure of our county. It's important to have a strong working relationship with them. And that is something that I'm going to maintain as we continue moving forward and make stronger. Another priority is to collaborate with our educational partners and make sure that our schools are safe and secure. Now I say that because we have school resource deputies in the North Kansas City School District, and we have, we do a lot of work with that school district. It's a great school district. But we also have other school districts in Clay County. And we're going to partner up with them as well to make sure that we have a strong working group to make sure that whatever trends and patterns that are happening, we're all aware, and we work together to improve or increase whatever response capability that we have to continue to make our kids safe in our schools. Increase staffing levels to meet future needs. There is no record on when the last time the sheriff's office had a significant increase in personnel. The only thing that I can gather is by people who've worked with the sheriff's office or with the county, and 1993 seems to be the cutoff point. That was the last time we saw a significant increase in personnel. So for the last 26 years, we've been doing the same job barring the, one person that's been approved here, 2 people that have been approved there, a handful of people that, maybe we've gotten a grant for that we were able to incorporate into the sheriff's office. I'm talking about in the last 26 years, the county's grown almost 100,000 people. The Clay County Sheriff's Office is still operating with manpower of that of 1993. So that's one of the things that we have to change. Our county's growing, we just need to grow with it. So that way we can continue to provide the service to the community that it deserves, that you deserve. Innovation and efficiency. Law enforcement has increasingly become more technological. There's a whole lot of technology that we have. Now, yes, it's expensive, but we're going to examine every opportunity to incorporate some technology into our daily operations to make our job more efficient to serve you and the community. And then finally, progress with integrity. We're going to accomplish all of this, and we're going to accomplish it because we have great working relationships, we have a great community who supports us, but we're going to do it with the highest level of integrity, without compromise. That's how we're going to get it done. So with that being said, my open book life. If you saw the Facebook page that I posted, or the Facebook post that I posted on my Facebook page on April 28th, you know that what I am able to accomplish is not just on my own. April 28th was my 8-year anniversary to this lovely lady right here, my wife, Jennifer Akin. Please stand up. I asked her if she wanted to say a couple of words, but she's like throwing in there. But I want to say that from Afghanistan to running for sheriff, she has always been by my side. And she has always supported me in everything that I have done. And I just wanted to take a moment to recognize her, because without her support, I would not be here, because it starts here at home.
You make it easy.
If you didn't hear, she said I made it easy. I think that deserves a foot rub later or something. Thank you, Ed. The next person I want to introduce you to is my son, Jake. Where are you? Come up here. I am going to call him up here. And I'm going to start with him, and I'm going to introduce all 3 of my boys, but this is the only one that could be here with us tonight. Jake, 14 years old. He wants to go into mechanical engineering. He wants to go to West Point. He wants to follow Big Brother's footsteps and mine. Wow, that is a lot. We were sitting at the table having dinner one time when all 3 boys were home, and we were enjoying everyone's company, and I started laughing. And for those of you that don't know, and I'm very animated at home. I have to be serious at work, but I'm animated at home. And everyone's waiting for the punchline because Dad's laughing. And I looked over at Jake and I said, you know what? You're the luckiest son at this table. And then it kind of got quiet, and they're like, okay, how's this funny? And I said, because I made all of my mistakes, and I pointed at the 2 older boys with those guys. But we have a lot in common. We do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu together, we CrossFit together, we like being around each other. That's always a plus. He plays a lot of video games. I like watching video games. But nonetheless, he's still at home. He's only home for a short period of time. But again, if I didn't have the support from my sons, especially this guy right here, I wouldn't be able to do it. It wouldn't be as easy. Let's just say that. So, Jake, thank you very much for being a good son. The 2 older boys, the next one's 19. He can't be here because he's playing Army. Let's see, where's he at? He's in Anchorage, Alaska right now. Oh, no, he's in Anchorage. He's stationed at Fort Wainwright, thank you. I get mixed up because he's always moving around, He's been in the Army for almost 2 years now. And he is working on his Expert Infantryman's badge. Yeah. And there's, right? Yeah. It's pretty amazing because he got accepted to Truman State University in his senior year. And and we were extremely proud of him. He was going to go into the medical program and go on to be a doctor. And then one day he came home and he was like, Dad, he goes, I think I want to join the military. What? At no time in his life did he ever express any interest in the military, but nonetheless, we went back and forth for about a year, and he ultimately decided on the Army. But I asked him, I said, son, why do you want to join the Army? And he said, Dad, he goes, I listen to you tell all your stories. He goes, I want to make stories of my own. I was like, oh man. Okay, so he's off making his own stories now, and we're super proud of him. But then we found out that he was getting deployed in September. The soldier dad of me is like, heck yeah, son, go get some, huh? Yeah, the dad side of me is like, oh, I spent 3 years in the Middle East. I know what to expect. But nonetheless, we're very proud of him. Our oldest son is Jared. Our middle son's name is Keaton. That's what family calls him, but all of his friends call him Travis. He would not, yeah, that's his first name. He would not allow family to call him Travis. He wanted that separation. Okay, that's cool. There's another story, first name, middle name, but I am not going to go into that right now. I almost started an international incident because of my names, but that's another story. The oldest son, his name is Jared, and he's working in Fort Wayne, Indiana, as an environmental scientist. Really proud of him. I mean, he's doing great stuff, and he's doing it really all on his own. We couldn't be more happier with our sons, but they're all very supportive of this. And I wish the older two were here, but hey, they're living their life. Okay, I'm going to finish this up, but I want to say that we are all in this together. It's not about me anymore, it's about us. And with your help and with your support, I will win the election next year. The amount of support that I have received since making my announcement has been truly overwhelming. And this is testament right here with everyone in this room. And I know now, with the utmost confidence, that I will win the election next year. Thank you. I've been asked, how can I help, Will? When can I put signs out? Well, signs will be next year, but here's how we can help. One, like my Facebook page. I'm sure everyone in here has already liked my Facebook page. Thank you. But also with that is share my Facebook page, my campaign page. And not only sharing the page, but letting whoever you're sharing it to or inviting people to like, to let them know, hey, I know this guy and I support him. Because when you add a personal touch to it, they're more apt to liking it. And with more support on the campaign page, kind of makes other people go, oh man, should I run against this guy? So it's a tactic, right? So yes, definitely invite and share my campaign page. Another way that we can get out there, another way that you can help me is help me with meet and greets. I want to be able to do meet and greets in every single city and in the county, so I have the most opportunity to meet as many people as possible. Yes, you can see my website, you can look at my Facebook page, but who is Will? I want to be able to share that with other people by meeting them during meet and greets. So that's another way that you can help. And then spreading the word, telling your friends, hey, this guy Will Akin, he's running for sheriff, vote for him. And help them, remind them to get to the polls next year so they can fill out the box. All right. That's enough for now. But I will try to make it around the room and see everyone, because I'm scanning the room and there's a lot of people I see that I have not had an opportunity to talk with yet. So I will continue to make my way around the room. I'm going to be here for a long time. I know you will not, but I'll try to make it to you. But in the meantime, if you want to know more about my experience, my priorities, visit my website, willakinforsheriff.com, and there's more information in there. But do not hesitate to reach out to me, okay? Because there's no one in this room right now, but people have already reached out to me on my Facebook page, and much to my, I like sleeping every once in a while. But even when it's late at night and I'm done with homework, if I see somebody has reached out to me, I reach back and I talk with them. So don't hesitate to reach out to me. Guys, thank you very much for being here tonight. I appreciate it very much, and I hope to talk with you again soon. And thank you for the support.